camera, one mission.
I think it's magic. Yeah, I think it's good. Just half a pilly. I'm coming up. I feel so pretty, like peachy key, but I ain't racing. I feel too good. I'm rainbow gazing, like peachy key, peachy peachy, peachy peachy, like peachy key, peachy peachy, peachy peachy, like peachy.
Sigma just refreshed one of their most important full-frame primes. This is the new 35mm F1.4 DG2 Art. It replaces the hugely popular 35mm F1.4 DG-TN from 2021, a lens that quickly became a go-to for a lot of shooters. This new version brings some meaningful upgrades: dual HLA motors for faster autofocus, a lighter, more compact design, and a much cleaner, more streamlined button layout. And most importantly, reduced focus breathing. That alone was enough to keep me away from the previous one and instead rely on this legend, the Sony 35mm F1.8. So let's get into it. Available in E-mount and L-mount. 67mm front filter. 2 AFL buttons in addition to AF/MF switches. Declickable aperture control ring. Focuses as close as 28 centimeters. Petal type hood with locking mechanism. Dust and splash resistant. Coated to repel water and oil. 11 blade rounded diaphragm. Part of Sigma's premium art line. The 35mm focal length is often called the storyteller's lens. It's wide enough to capture context, yet tight enough to keep your subject clear without the distortion of wider lenses. For many, it's the ultimate one-lens solution, great for street, wedding, environmental portraits, and even documentary work. In fact, 35mm is also a favorite focal length of Sigma's CEO, which says a lot about its versatility. It also works really well for talking head shots. The talking head from my previous 15mm f1.4 review was actually shot on this new Sigma 35mm f1.4 too. Now let's look at the technical performance with real-world samples. The A7IV's 33 megapixel sensor, sharpness wide opens is excellent in the center with superb contrast. The corners are, honestly, very impressive, and by f2 they are already matching the center. Beyond f11, diffraction starts to kick in as expected. So that's a very strong start. Distortion is very well controlled here, which is actually quite rare these days, so that's very impressive. There's some vignetting at f1.4, but it clears up quickly by f4. And if needed, in-camera corrections or a quick fix in post will take care of it easily. Flaring is noticeable when shooting directly into a light source. In real-world use though, it's quite well controlled and often adds a pleasing cinematic character rather than becoming distracting. And as you stop down, especially from around f8, you start to get nicely defined sun stars. At f1.4, you will notice a slight amount of longitudinal chromatic aberration. It reduces quickly by around f1.8, and by f2.8 is essentially gone. Lateral chromatic aberration is well controlled, as expected from a modern art lens. Bokeh performance here is very pleasing. At wider apertures, you will notice the usual cat's eye shapes toward the edges, which is expected at f1.4 just like vignetting. As you stop down, those highlights become more rounded thanks to the 11 blade rounded diaphragm. Overall, the background rendering is smooth and natural, with a nice separation between subject and background. This lens focuses as close as 28 centimeters, offering a maximum magnification of 1 to 5.4. Sharpness is okay wide open, but stopping down to around f2.8 makes it better, and the best detail starts to emerge from f4. Autofocus is powered by Sigma's dual high-response linear actuator motors. Focus acquisition is quick, tracking is reliable, and operation remains virtually silent. Focus breathing, which was a concern on the previous model, has been greatly reduced. There's a still minor shift, but in practical video use, it's barely noticeable, and that's a major improvement. For video, this lens really stands out. Fast, reliable autofocus, almost zero focus breathing, and a compact design that makes handheld shooting easy. So, can I finally say goodbye to the Sony 35mm f1.8? Honestly, I think I can. Sigma didn't just refresh this lens, they refined it where it actually matters. For Sony shooters, it really comes down to two choices now, this or the G Master. And the fact that Sigma is even in that conversation says everything. This is 35mm done right.